So you know what that means. You heard the theme music, so you know I'm about to go in on these three palm-colored Neander devils right here. So this week, ever since the passing of Kobe Bryant and his daughter in particular, but mostly particular Kobe, they have been doing and making their rounds, making fun of this man's death, saying that they can't support him because of who he was married to, saying that he was a rapist, and all this bullshit. And that's pretty much all it's chalked up to, is a bunch of bullshit. But this one right here literally rubbed me the wrong way. Now, all the other stuff that we've heard about has probably made it somewhere into lamestream media, mainly because of who put it out there. Most likely those blue checked motherfuckers. Most likely the ones that did it. Like I went in on Allison Morris, Evan Racist Wood, and a couple of others. But this one right here really rubs me the wrong way, because you have these three pieces of shit that don't amount to nothing and probably won't be shit, who are out here imitating a helicopter crash in which people lost their lives and think that this shit is a goddamn joke. Now, one of the major things that I noticed is that you have these three individuals who are imitating the pilot, Kobe Bryant, and his daughter. Now, notice that there were other people on the plane who would be classified as white. But he took the three people that will be classified as non-white to imitate dying in the crash. That was one of the first things that I noticed when I saw the names above their heads. Now, you saw right there, they were pretending to fly the plane, the helicopter and everything like that. Then you saw the part where it says landing again. Now, I couldn't play for some reason, the video wouldn't come through, but only the audio. So that's why I did the screenshots in order as it was happening. Then they imitated the plane crashing. And then when the guy turned the camera off at the end, he was smiling. They see this shit as a fucking joke. They see us dying in horrific ways, or dying period, as a joke. But it doesn't surprise me, because if you remember when Trayvon Martin was murdered by George Killerman, you had people for Halloween imitating him, laying on the ground. They even came up with something called Trayvoning. Remember that thing when it was called planking back then? They remixed it and called it Trayvoning, where a person is laying down wearing a hoodie that has holes in it, and they're holding an iced tea and some Skittles and probably some fake blood coming out of him, and they're imitating him while he's laid on the floor or laid on the ground dying. See, and then they want us to feel bad for them when something happens to them. That's why when it comes to this opioid plague that they're going through right now, I've never cared for that. I'd never dropped one tear for it. Their low birth rates, oh well, I guess that's just the universe doing natural selection, or the universe telling you that your time is pretty much up. But then when something happens with them or something affects them, then we all have to somehow come together as a nation, as a people, in this one and humanity bullshit. And then we have to sing Kumbaya and hold hands and skip together in hopes that there could be a brighter place in the world somewhere. Fuck all of that. Because with the stuff that I've just heard in this week alone, and mind you, I'm recording this and it's only Tuesday. It is only Tuesday. This man just died on Sunday. Him and his daughter and those other people just died on Sunday. And people cannot wait to put stuff like this out here for consumption because they think the shit is funny. These three motherfuckers thought this shit was hilarious. They think someone dying in a plane, in a helicopter crash, it's funny. Let's take away that they were imitating three people, one of them being a child. The fact of the matter is that they are imitating people dying. But these are the same people that want to come together every year on 9/11, where people lost their lives on planes, and say we need to, God bless America and never forget it, never forgiving all of this. But when it's something we're going through, we have to get over it. And not only are we forced to try to get over it, but they want to go ahead and make it as a form of their entertainment, whether it's for internet consumption or for consumer consumption, money wise, financial wise. But these are the same people that want to tell our stories, bastardize it. But if we have the nerve to tell our stories the right way, we can't do it. Look at Nate Parker with Birth of a Nation and how they sabotaged that. Told the proper story the proper way, but they sabotaged it. But they can come out with all these bastardized narratives of slavery, and we are expected to consume it. I can't stand people like the ones you just saw in this video. And these are young individuals. They look younger than me. They look like they were not even around when Kobe was in his prime. And for them to sit up there and disrespect this man and his daughter and those families and the families of the families that died, that is so fucked up. I wish I could say that I was surprised by what I just saw here or what you just saw here. But we all know how they get down. This is exactly why I do the videos I do. It's stuff like this which actually fuels my channel. This, in essence, was what my channel was meant to do. Then everything else just kind of happened when it did. But then I always get reminded when I see stuff like this. And people expect me and others to trust that. People keep saying, oh, the races are dying out. The baby boomers are dying out. The Gen Xers, they're, whatever. No. You still got the goddamn millennials and Gen Z and whoever else the fuck is going to come behind them. Like I said, take away the fact that they are imitating three people who they would deem to be non-white out of the equation. They imitated people dying in a plane. And these are the so-called people that are supposed to be so goddamn patriotic, what I call them patriotic and all American and all this and that, while Kobe Bryant and his daughter would be considered American. But when they say American, they don't mean black people. They're talking about them. This is why many of us don't care about their goddamn causes or whatever the fuck they got going on. Fuck them and fuck whatever their cause, all of that. And then expect us to feel bad when something happens with them or to them or whatever. And you see shit like this and you get reminded real quick that you can't. Even when you try, you can't. Now, it's funny that they're imitating a helicopter crashing. And what happens with a helicopter when it crashes? It burns. And descending into the ground, what would that symbolize? Going to hell. That's exactly what those three in this video can do. Crash into hell and burn in that motherfucker. That's what the fuck they can do.